Expo with Katherine Keeney on ABC Radio, Brisbane and Queensland.
Didn't we? What? April 30, 1988, Expo 88. Who doesn't remember it? Well, honestly, I'm afraid I don't, because I was born in 1987. I don't personally remember 88, but I know for a fact that it really was one of the biggest events that we've seen in Brisbane. Not only did it put Brisbane on the map, it brought people from all around the world, down under, right to Australia, to our very own backyard. And I think it's right that we should celebrate the 30th anniversary of Expo, which is coming up in just over a few weeks' time, 30th of April. So we've decided we'll put on a big party here at the afternoon's program. We want to have an official Expo 88 anniversary outside broadcast. And I want to know what you would like to see celebrated and commemorated. 1300 222 612. Get your suggestions in now. Was it the white statues you liked the most, the German beer pavilion, or the hundreds of people doing this? Peter Rasey, acting chair of a community group coordinating the 30th anniversary of Expo 88. Peter, the chicken dance was a big deal at Expo 88, wasn't it?
It was a big deal.
It's not gone out of style. Why was it such a big... Where was it? Was it at the German pavilion?
Yes, actually the charming Squire is probably the exact same location that the Fest House...
Oh, the pub across the road from here at the ABC.
Exactly right.
The convention centre. Well, that's the thing, because this whole area has changed significantly since Expo 88. And we were going through some of the old pictures, because there's a walking tour you can do. Peter Gooch, who works on the program, was showing me the old locations of the pavilion. Unrecognisable to me, because I've only ever known South Bank as it is today, basically.
Well, and the interesting thing is that in 92, when South Bank was originally opened, you wouldn't know today that South Bank is the same South Bank as it was in 92. I mean, it's just like your grandfather's old axe. 3 handles, couple of axe heads. It's completely different, completely improved compared to what was, the first generation of South Bank. And, it's just grown to be such a well-loved memory and touchstone of Expo 88.
I think, though, it's worthwhile time warping back to the 80s, not only because the hair and the music was fabulous back then, but because Expo 88 was really a defining point in our history. Pete, what does it mean to you?
Well, I was actually in the green room watching Peter Gooch run around after a bin chicken.
He does that.
And when he finished that, we had a little conversation about how Joe thought that he was, cementing his legacy forever and a day.
The Premier at the time, Joe Bjelke-Petersen.
Joe Bjelke-Petersen. And what he really did, though, was by securing Expo, he unleashed a creative storm in Queensland that really swept away that very laced up and very conservative mindset that was...
Sort of Brisbane, the backwater idea.
Exactly right. And I don't think he really realised what he was unleashing. And, to his credit... it was a bold decision, and, Queensland sort of has gone on in leaps and bounds since that point in time.
Well, we spoke to you last month, Peter, about your search for the human factor statues, which, of course, were the white statues, some of which still dot public spaces around the Brisbane city today.
And some more will dot public spaces after the 30th of April. The Lord Mayor's been very busy, out there melting the bronze and pouring the bronze at his spare time. He's a busy lad. And there will be 4 new ones.
Okay.
And 2 of them will be relatively close to where we are at the present stage without letting, the cat out of the bag.
You heard it here first, exclusive. Well, we got a lot of calls on that. Lots of people all over Brisbane and the Gold Coast had memories of these statues, knew where some of them were, wanted to reach out, help you find them, connect them. And 1300 222 612 is what I would like you to call, the number I'd like you to call this afternoon to tell us what element of Expo you would like to see commemorated, celebrated at our outside broadcast. But did we manage to find a few statues for you, didn't we?
I can confirm that this station is listened to far and wide.
Yes.
Because the Premier's office got onto the Arts Minister, I assume. They ended up talking to the Brisbane City Council, and the local member here, Jackie Trad, is probably the best person to talk to because
Fantastic.
They are in advanced negotiations to hand those over to the Brisbane City Council.
Great.
And so they've been saved. IBM, who were interested but not quite motivated, but were certainly motivated after the program, they have the sad clown.
Yes.
Now, it is in pristine condition. It has been stored immaculately in a IBM art museum, and they are 99.9% a done deal, and the Lord Mayor will be the best one to make an announcement of that.
Good-o. Okay.
Two others.
Yes,
Two
good.
others.
Yes.
Yep. The Ringer, 90% done on having that one handed over. And there's another one, a clown bending over backwards. Now, the ones in private hands are obviously held by people who have a great sentimental attachment to them. And so trying to negotiate the terms of the gift, it's interesting.
It's delicate.
It's delicate.
An
Exactly. That's
diplomacy.
the word. I don't have any. I have absolutely none. Ask my wife.
Peter Rasey is with you. He's the acting chair of a community group that is coordinating the 30th anniversary of Expo 88. We are hoping to help out here at Afternoons, and you have already helped out in a huge way with the calls that you gave us last time to help track down these white statues. Want to hear from you today. We want you to help us shape our celebration of Expo 88. What memories, what aspects, what parts of Expo do you want celebrated? 1300 222 612. Who have we got? Jeremiah in West End. Good afternoon. Hey, Jeremiah. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hi. Got you loud and clear.
Loud and clear. That's good to hear. The thing that I loved about Expo mostly, it was all great. And the thing I loved about it most was when you went, before you got into the Australian Pavilion, after your 1 or 2 hour wait, you went through a Aboriginal Dreamtime experience.
Yes.
With an Aboriginal elder, and that was, to my mind, just the most amazing thing. I just, really wish it could be sort of spread around the country, theme parks and whatever, but having that as a celebratory thing for Indigenous Australians, I think would be amazing. And as the Australian, it was the Australian Expo. That was, I think the standout for the Australian Pavilion.
Jeremiah, excellent suggestion. It's on my list. I'm writing this down now. Thank you so much for the call.
And I can make a comment about that because John Truscott, who was the creative director of Expo 88, and he had put together the art collection that's sitting in the Hamer Centre in Victoria, and he pulled together for the Expo, for the Queensland Pavilion, exactly in that area that Jeremiah was just talking about, Australia's best collection of Indigenous art out of Central Australia. And that is still in existence, and it is in the Convention Centre. And it is one of those aspects that will be added into the Expo 88 Art Trail.
Oh, great.
And so the Expo 88 Art Trail that the Brisbane City Council currently has 16 items in it, but it will have closer to 30, all legitimate Expo 88 art pieces and art historical items. And so the Expo 88 Art Trail is going to be significantly enhanced through the investment of the money that the Lord Mayor is making, and will
and your help, Peter, and your help. Lots of great calls and comments coming in. 0467 922 612 is the text line. Jenny in Banyo thinks that we should invite all of the couples who got engaged. She was one of them. He popped the question in the New Zealand Pavilion. Jenny, I heard that the New Zealand's put on a good show. Lots of love for the Kiwis. Jenny, that's a really great idea. Maybe you can come down on the day, on the 30th of April. Ross and Maruka, thanks for your message. You would like the New Zealand Pavilion to come back. He got on it He got in on the very last day. That's it, because the queues, Peter Rasey, were extraordinary. We learned how to queue at Expo 88, didn't we? Apparently.
Well, yes, the Walt Disney experience of bonding back and forth and looking at an ever-changing outlook of people's faces that was experienced and introduced into Australia via Expo 88.
Exactly. It was a significant. I wish I could have been. That's why I'm so keen to recreate it a little bit for the 30th anniversary. Wilfred in Kenmore. G'day.
Hello, Wilfred here.
How are you, Wilfred? What do you want to?
Dear. It's a lovely session you've got on there.
Oh, well, good. We've got a pretty great guest. He does all right. Peter Rasey is with you. He's helping organise the commemoration of the 30th anniversary of the Expo 88 extravaganza. What would you like to see celebrated or commemorated, Wilfred? What did you enjoy about Expo?
Well, we had a little three-piece jazz band.
Oh, good on you.
And every morning we played there outside the opening while the people were all waiting to get in, and we entertained all those people in the morning.
Hey, is the band still together, Wilfred?
Well, unfortunately, we lost our piano accordion player, Jeffrey Smith. Mm-hmm. Jeff passed away a few years ago. Oh. But Rod Bridges, the best saxophone player I've ever heard, he was there. He's still with me.
Great.
And I played trumpet, and I'm still here. And I'm nearly 96 at the moment.
What if we try and find you a person who can play a piano accordion? Could we get a band back together?
Oh, we could, love, I suppose. But
are you free on the 30th of April, Wilfred?
30th of April?
Yeah.
That's the day. I don't know, dear. Why?
Oh, well, I wonder whether you might pop along and play a bit of jazz for us at our outside broadcast.
Well, I'll contact my other mate, Rod Bridges.
Okay.
And then I'll get back here.
Excellent. I'm going to put you on hold, Wilfred, return you back to superstar producer Annie Pappalardo, because if we could get you to play, I mean, that's what we want. We want it to be authentic. Wilfred, thank you so much for your call. Hold the line, mate. So there you have it. Wilfred in Kenmore used to play some jazz. Now, Pete, you've come in today with a special souvenir from Expo.
Yes.
What have you got with you?
Been collecting. So the Expo 88 Art Trail is being enhanced through a lot of donations of records and plans. The story behind the Expo is what we've been trying to put together. And a lot of those records have been going into the John Oxley Library. And former councillor Rick Jeffries texted me and said, I found a really great Nepalese hand-engraved plate from Expo 88, which tells and encapsulates the whole story of Expo. So it's got the helicopters, it's got the Bond 4X blimp, it's got the monorail, it's got hovercraft, it's got the lot. And so I went and purchased it from the Antique Centre, and it is on the way to the John Oxley Library, because part of the Expo 88 Art Trail is, going up in there and seeing all those records that the average person who visited Expo wouldn't have the slightest idea of the attention to detail and the plans and the years and years of effort that Sir Lou and his team put into making sure it was a great event, and ended up being the happiest place in the world that Sir Lou always refers to it as.
Well, I'm glad to hear that we can try and bring a bit of that magic back through the art trail, through our Expo 88 outside broadcast. Jason Ford, g'day. You've got news about an exhibition in Kingaroy celebrating Expo 88. How are you going?
Good afternoon, Katherine. Good afternoon, Peter.
Good afternoon, Jason.
Just thought I'd quickly call in to remind people of the World Expo 88 Facebook page and our objective of achieving 1,988 followers before the anniversary. And also, while I was at it, on the 30th of April, the Kingaroy Heritage Museum in the South Burnett will be holding a World Expo 88 exhibit, which will run for 6 months.
Are you having a party as part of that? Could we cross live to you from our outside broadcast for an update as to what's going down in Kingaroy, Jason?
I really think we can organise something. Absolutely.
Excellent. So there are lots of Facebook groups at the moment, lots of people really keen to celebrate Expo 88. We'll try and bring everybody together in one big harmonious, in the spirit of Expo, let's be honest. But Jason, what's the Facebook address that you were talking about?
Look, if you just search World Expo 88 on Facebook, you'll find that page. So that's the main active Facebook page in regards to the 30th anniversary at the moment. Jason
Ford, good on you. Thank you for the call. We'll be in touch, I'm sure.
And can I just say, if people have an interest in the background history and the background souvenirs and the background narrative to Expo 88, that work that Jason's been doing is a wonderful resource. I mean, I think he has every pin, every T-shirt, every tea towel. He has got the lot.
Excellent. Good on you, Jason. You're a bit of a fan and I love your enthusiasm.
No, thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, we'll speak soon. Jason Ford there, helping out with the revival of the Expo magic online and in real life. Peter Rasey, what else has been organised? What official events have been organised in and around the anniversary, the 30th anniversary on the 30th of April?
Well, there are several Artbuster pieces which are being unveiled, and there was a major piece of sculpture, a monumental piece of sculpture in actual fact, 6 metres long, 7 metres wide and it stood 14 metres tall, and it used to be out at Boondall. It's called Showdown. It was by a Tasmanian artist who was a TAFE teacher, Chris Beadsworth, I think his name was from recollection. Now, that has been out at Boondall. Like a lot of the Expo 88 artwork, it was placed in the city by Sally Ann Atkinson as a leverage, to get us the 92 Olympics. It wasn't actually placed in the city to celebrate Expo 88. It was for a completely and utterly different purpose. Now, current Lord Mayor Graham Quirk, during the 25th, repositioned some of them, established the Expo 88 art trail, and has been gobsmacked, like me, at the response of the general public. And so has decided, we can invest more into this. And so that piece has been, now it's been disassembled, it's disappeared, and I hope I don't get into trouble from the Lord Mayor by letting everyone know that it's disappeared. But it is coming into the CBD. Now this 14-metre high piece, it's pink.
Oh, great.
It is bright pink.
And it's coming to the heart of our city.
It's close to the heart.
Fantastic.
And it's going to be lit, and it will be a major piece of Expo 88 that's given a completely and utterly new birth of life. And just, Katherine, if you can just persevere.
Well, just quickly, because we've got Michael Bausch standing by with news headlines at past, Peter.
Well, Laurie Smith, okay? Laurie Smith, a legend for Expo 88 landscaping. Current petition, if you Google Laurie Smith Place, if people can just get onto that .org petition and sign it, it'd be great, because I need 600 signatures, 600 supporters, and then I can have a little place named after Laurie and get the art of landscape architecture into the art trail.
Excellent. And I think Laurie will be with Loretta Ryan right here on this station on the weekend's program this weekend. So you'll have to tune in to hear from Laurie. Peter Rasey, are you going to come along to our 80s extravaganza Expo 88 anniversary outside broadcast?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Excellent. Peter Rasey, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
And thank you again. And thank you, listeners.
And I hope to see you there. 1300 222 612. What would you like us to include as part of our official outside broadcast? That is on the 30th of April, marking the 30-year anniversary of Expo 88.
Katherine Keeney on ABC Radio Brisbane and Queensland.
It is 2:30.